above the tits, above the pits. In
Above the
silver,
tits and the
with a
pits.
glove floating above the start finish line and the tits with the pits, it's Brendan. There you go. That's an intro. That's how you do a professional intro.
Runs
Yeah.
off the tongue there.
Sweeps off the tongue with the words tits and pits, interchangeable. Right, okay. How did we enjoy the
Hello,
race? Hello, mate.
Oh, there was some good racing, wasn't there?
There was some good race. I didn't catch it live.
Did you not?
No.
Did you watch all of it, or did you watch highlights?
I just watched highlights. I do try and manage to catch the Channel 4 version and stuff like that. I like to get that broad view, but I caught the start of it on my phone. It was all a bit higgledy-piggledy. So you're going to have to give me a lot more that went on. But what I will say is, let's start on the Friday where, okay, what's going on with this whole sprint qualifying thing? It's changed. I couldn't understand what was going on because I am a diehard Formula One fan, but life takes over. So what's going on with that? It confused me. Question. That was the longest question ever.
Okay. The race weekend is, or if it's a sprint weekend, it is as follows: Friday morning, FP1. Friday afternoon, qualifying for the Grand Prix.
This is a new thing.
That sets the grid for Sunday.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Saturday, qualifying for the sprint race, then the sprint race. Sunday, Grand Prix.
Okay. Previously, it's been different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Previously, the sprint determined the grid for the Grand Prix.
Yeah. Now they're not linked at all. Now it's just a separate race altogether.
I don't like it.
No?
Bit of a I just don't like it. Well, do it, but do the sprint on the Friday.
I mean, if you've got all weekend,
do the sprint to knock it out, get out of the way, because it just confuses matters in the middle there. Do the sprint on the Friday.
But then they don't have any running to test the cars, and
none of the sprint can be run.
They have FP1 to get the car setup done, which depends on weather conditions a lot, depends on the upgrades that they've had, depends on track surfaces, depends on tire upgrades, depends on a lot of stuff. You need to do some practice running, right? Right. And you can't just go running right out and do a quali. So they have to have some sort of free practice. So that's one session gone, right?
Right.
If you're assuming there's 2 sessions every day, then what do you put after that?
What do you mean?
There's a total of 5 events over the weekend, right? You've got to have the practice session, you've got to have qualification for the sprint, you've got to have the sprint, you've got to have qualification for the main event, you've got to have the main event. So how would you program otherwise? FP1 free practice has to be at the start, the Grand Prix has to be at the finish. How would you structure the other 3 in the middle to make more sense in your world?
Okay, how many sessions again?
5. You realise that
do the sprint without any practice.
Straight out of the truck into the out of the garage.
Well, it's less important. Everybody knows the sprint is a less important. It's a sideshow.
It's 8 points.
But do you know what? Don't do the.
Kimi Räikkönen won the championship by 1 point. Right?
Yeah, I get that. Don't school me. How dare you? School me on people winning.
What
I'm saying is, you're mistaking certain fundamentals about Formula One. Once those cars are going round, that is practice as well, isn't it?
Yeah, but you can't adjust it when you're in the middle of a race. You can't change things. You can't change a wing. You can't change a rear wing or a front wing in the middle of it because it's running better.
Hang on a minute. How many? Well, you've miscounted. How many free practices they get? They get 3. Yeah.
No. In a normal weekend.
Yes. For FP1, FP2, FP3, then qualifying, then the race.
Yeah.
Now on a sprint weekend, you're sacrificing how many practices?
2.
So you can't do 3 things in one day. FP1, then the sprint quality, then the sprint. Is this impossible?
Not really, because there's other
We've
races.
sent a man to the moon for the love of
listen,
God. We've
been. It's entertainment at the end
I've
of the
missed
day.
you, mate. Go on.
And there's other races. There's races that happen in between. Right? When we were there was the Formula 2, there was Formula 3, and there was the Porsche Super Cup. Right? All those races had to happen over the weekend.
Right.
So you've got to fit all them in as well.
Yeah. That's
So
more than 3.
on one.
Why not? Oh, it's just crazy. I'm talking crazy, aren't I? Next, you'll be saying.
You are. You're just arguing for the sake of arguing.
Yeah. Next, you'll be saying there'll be refueling and stuff like that. They've got over those obstacles before. I just don't like the order. All I'm doing is switching 2 days, aren't I?
I think I've got the email somewhere for someone that actually cares or can do something about it.
Pop it on a little envelope, screw it up, and shove it up your bottom. Yeah, that's what you're saying.
Go phone someone that gives one.
Yeah. Okay, and on that note, let's go.
Let's move on.
Good race, bad race.
Steering wheel, somebody tell him to give it to me. Come on, move.
Hey! Good race, bad race.
After the music comes
That's
back.
a beautiful good race, bad race. So let's get the results up. I'm prepared here. I don't know why. I had to wait all day. Let's go to it. Okay. Right. Let's get the results up on the screen from the Grand Prix, Austria Grand Prix results. Full screen it there. Pushing all the buttons here. Look at this. Keep talking, mate. Keep talking.
So, are we talking about just the Grand Prix, or are we talking about the whole weekend? Because a certain driver had a shocker of a weekend and then a really good Grand Prix.
Okay, really good. As in what sense? Let's start from the.
Let's talk about it.
You're talking about Perez.
I'm
You're talking about Sergio. It doesn't. It's not gonna. You're not gonna waver me with this. With this, he finished what? Where did he finish? Third, right?
Third.
Where did he start? He was
on
the podium. Yeah. It's not. I will admit, it was a little bit more feisty in the sprint, wasn't he? A little bit more feisty with Max.
He put some.
Put him on the grass.
You know.
Sorry, I was a little bit beer in my
did.
mouth. He put him on the grass.
What I'm talking about, you know.
I'm going to say it. He got his elbows out. God, I hate that expression. Well, if he wants to win the championship, keep his seat, he's got to do that. He's got to actually. I think he's got to start pissing off the Red Bull team and not following orders.
He's got.
This is his last chance. Yeah. This is his last chance at anything. I think it's his last chance, or he's just going to be in the retirement pension fund with, you know, Haas. Do you know what I mean? Or Alfa Romeo. Yeah. You know, he'll be back down there and then just seeing out his career. This is his last chance. Either he's going to take it.
His last days in Force India were pretty the same, and then he went out and won Abu Dhabi. You know, won his first Grand Prix in a mediocre car. You know, I think Perez likes to be under pressure. I think, you know, I think that's why he's. I think he needs.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The championship is over.
Oh, 100%.
But
if he wants a seat next year, he needs to pull it out of the bag. He's fighting.
Yeah,
for the seat.
I mean,
he's not fighting for the champions.
And the whole Max Horner thing was, don't concentrate on the championship. Just, you know, almost trying to get him to forget the championship. I don't think that's the right.
No, I think, you know, they know him better than we do, right? But I'm saying, I think from what we've seen of him, he works better under pressure. Put him under pressure. Tell him to go fight for the championship. Don't tell him it's over. That's why he took his foot.
Like he's going to chill out about it. Yeah, it's over. The championship is over, Perez. And by the way, you may not be in this seat. You know what I mean? Ridiculous.
Since they said that, you know, that the championship's over. That's when he started driving badly. Hang on, I need to do something.
What are you doing? Are you gonna put? Oh, I thought you were gonna give us a song, mate. I thought, you know, if you want to do a duet, mate. we could do a duet. I mean, I'm all here for the band. I'm here for the band, buddy. Right. What are you going to play me? Can you play something? Play me a tune.
Got a ball for the hair, and I love you.
That's golden. I'll clip that.
Cool.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
I think so. But let's go through the results. Am I sharing screen? Did I share screen?
No, you're not, because I can still see your ugly, beautiful face.
Ugly, beautiful. Compliment and an insult at the same time. Brilliant. That's the way I like my life. That's the way I like my life.
Make sure you've got the results for the race, not the sprint.
I think we should concentrate on the race. I'm a purist, okay? Because it's a long night. Right, let's talk about the absolute catastrophe of Haas's race.
Yeah, not good.
Not good.
Not
Qualifying's
good at all.
great. You know, they do really well in qualifying, but it just seems like come race day, they just want to get themselves entangled with Nick de Vries. They get up the front and think, why isn't Nick de Vries pushing me off the road and jeopardizing his career? That's what they think.
You know, K-Mag didn't do well this whole weekend. He was 19th on the grid.
Yeah.
And the Hulk qualified 8th. So that's pretty awesome. You know, K-Mag at least went up in places, and the Hulk was out after 12 laps. I mean, it's not a good showing at all, is it?
It's not good. I can't wait for Drive to Survive to see what's going to be said about that in the next season.
To see
Is there
saying, "Oh, smack."
Yeah. And Tsunoda there, unfortunately, down there. Don't like him down there because he's better than that. He's way better than that. He is. He's a little pocket rocket, that man. I'm telling you, if he was in the right car, do you think?
Like a Red Bull.
Do you know what? All this squabbling at the front about Red Bull
frozen?
seats with. No, I'm still here.
Yeah, you have.
No, I haven't frozen.
Oh,
Can
no,
you hear
you
me?
did.
I
Yeah,
did
if he
freeze.
was in a Red Bull.
I'll tell you that he's a seriously neglected driver. And all this squabbling, whenever you have the clickbait articles of Hamilton in Red Bull talk, they're all clickbait, or Red Bull talks, or Hamilton in Ferrari talk. It's nonsense. This fella Tsunoda, he's got it going on. If he can drag that AlphaTauri into the points near enough every other weekend, what do you reckon?
Yeah.
I think. Thanks for that comprehensive answer.
He lost his front wing because he was in fighting with it. So this isn't a representative result for him.
No, it isn't.
I think you are right that he's been up there. He's been 11th consistently. He was nearly scoring a record for the most consistent point or place scorer. You know, he is a good driver. He's come on a long way, and it will be interesting to see if he stays with AlphaTauri.
I'll be gutted if he's not on the grid next year. I will be gutted.
I think he will be.
Definitely.
But, you know,
someone go on.
He's funded by Honda, and now that Red Bull aren't with Honda anymore, does that put his place at risk? You know, he's not entirely a paid driver, but he's not far off it. So
It's a shame.
Yeah.
All these corporate kind of. Now, Nick de Vries, on the other hand, should we just say Nick de Vries? He's not. It's over, isn't it? It's got to be over. Oh, I've lost the results now. Where's the results? It's got to be over, isn't it, for Nick de Vries?
It'll be interesting. So I was reading an article. I think we might have mentioned this last week as well. That he always comes better in his second season, but you don't have time for that in Formula One.
No, you
and
do
with
not.
with a new team principal coming in at AlphaTauri with a new car ethos, you know, they're following the Red Bull car more closely, all that kind of stuff. You know, he's get out. You know, they're going to change one driver. I think they're going to change him.
Absolutely. He's got no chance. And the silly mistakes.
If you were Helmut Marko, would you put Danny Rick in to see how he operates in that environment? Get embedded before
how much?
the season.
Well, how much does Helmut Marko got? I mean, if I was Helmut Marko, that's a whole different question. But yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, he's gone, Nick de Vries. I feel bad for him because he had but no. Oscar Piastri doing a solid job. Piastri, 16th. He's doing a solid job.
He's not getting into trouble. He's not driving anyone off the track.
Not driving anyone off the track. He's getting in the points occasionally.
Is he?
Well, he's been in the points. He's got a point this year, isn't he? Piastri? He has been in the points. But, yeah. But he's more solid. Bottas is Bottas. He ain't going anywhere.
5 points.
Ocon. Bit disappointing for Alpine there.
Yeah, I expected better from Ocon there.
Yeah.
You got to love the Williams. Logan Sargent's doing all right.
Albon did
Not
well
far
again.
behind,
Albon's the top man, top dog in the Williams team, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Sargent's doing all right. But like I said, like in all workplaces, when you've got a Nick De Vries or a Nikita Mazepin, a Pastor Maldonado, or back in the old days, there was a guy called Andre De Cesaris. Anyway, when you've got one of those people on the grid, it makes you feel better as a driver. Logan Sargent knows that Nick De Vries is the one in the hot seat. He's basically, when you're at work and you know there's a whipping boy. Do you know what I mean? It's the whipping boy at work. And every year there's one chosen whipping boy. And last year it was Schumacher. This year it's Nick De Vries. The year before it's Mazepin. It's always the same in Formula 1. Oh, there's the one guy who everybody complains about.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, Nick, you're the whipping boy. Okay.
Yeah.
A little bit. Okay, Logan Sargent, Zhou Guanyu.
Interesting. I think Zhou Guanyu is another driver who's doing really well. You know, he's outperforming Valtteri Bottas in the same car, and that's happened quite a few times this season so far.
Yeah.
Well, it would be interesting. He's another one. It'd be interesting to see what he'd be like in a good car, and that springs a question that we can apply.
Springs a question. Go on.
Brings a question that could be applied to any team about how much is it the car and how much is it the driver. You know,
it's the same old nature nurture.
Same old, yeah, exactly. If you put Zhou into that Red Bull, would he be pushing Max harder? You know,
that's what Red Bull got to be thinking. Because I do think Verstappen's bored.
Is Lewis as good a driver as he said? Because, you know, or was it just the car? You know, what's the split of driver to car? Is it 60-40? Is it 50-50? You know?
Yeah.
Valtteri was getting podiums and wins in his time with Mercedes when Lewis was world champion. You know, does that mean that technically Max is a better driver than Lewis because in similar machinery? The number 2 driver is doing, or the number 1 driver is doing better than the number 2 driver by a substantial amount.
I don't know. I'm just thinking about that when you were saying put it into percentage. So it could be 90% the car, 10% the driver. I don't know. There must be an equation, right? But that 10% can cover a whole golf. That's 10% is the difference between Verstappen and Perez, or Hamilton and Bottas.
Yeah, when you look at Kimi Räikkönen last year or a couple of years ago, when he was pulling outstanding performances out of a piece of shit car. Let's be honest about it. You know, he was 13 people in one lap just because they were all bunched together, and that was just driving skill.
Well, you could say that about Russell as well when he was driving for Williams. You know, he was driving the arse off it. You know. Yeah. Right, let's move up the order. We've done Logan Sargent. We've done Zhou Guanyu, Albon, our favourite cat lover, doing all right, solid. Pierre Gasly must be in a strange position here because he's not moved from last year, has he? Let's be honest. He's not moved up or down. He's just floating around in the same kind of positions as last year. Agreed?
Well, compared to the car he was in, I mean, that's the Alpha Tauris are below him now.
Yeah, one race they are, and then the next race they're not.
Yeah.
It just feels like he's made that step to Alpine, and Alpine haven't moved. Other people have overtaken Alpine. Alpine got lucky with Ocon, you know, recently, but I can't remember the race because I've had a Carlsberg Export. That's a very 80s drink, isn't it? But Gasly's probably thinking, okay, he's got a stronger teammate with Ocon.
But he's out-qualified him a few times.
But he's still going to be gutting that he's still in the same place.
Yeah, but I mean, he wasn't putting his AlphaTauri ninth on the grid on a one lap showing last year, was he?
Without Googling, I can't remember. But it just feels like that kind of lower midfield kind of place is where Gasly's been bouncing around for a couple of years now. And it doesn't matter what team he gets into, he's going to end up there.
But maybe that's why he's bounced out of AlphaTauri, because he wants to go to a team that's, AlphaTauri have gone backwards. He could maybe see that coming. Now he's in
Alpine, who are just...
Alpine. And they're trying the hardest to move forward. They're investing big and they're under pressure from their CEO and all that kind of stuff. So they've got the chutzpah. They've got the desire.
Chutzpah. Yeah. Chutzpah. Aston Martin, not Stroll. Again, it's not good enough. It's just not good enough.
I genuinely think Fernando's pulling one. I think he threw that.
What, Fernando through what?
He didn't push as hard as he could, as he needed to pass Lance.
When was this?
In the race.
Well, he's passed him. He ended in fifth.
No, in quali. He qualified behind him. And in the race, there was, in the sprint, I think there was a similar situation where he didn't go past him. He's definitely been getting paid to mentor young lads.
Lance Stroll? I think that's the person you're trying to... Another kind of disappointing day for our Mercedes, really. Seems like they took a step forward and then they're just like...
Can we talk about Lewis's whinging, though? Even you, I don't know if you've probably not seen it, actually. Did you hear what the radio?
Yeah, I heard it, but
did you hear what Toto said?
I think in any job, you just moan about it. I'm kind of phoning this. It's like I moan at work, and then someone goes, "Well, I've got all this and this," and you go, "Oh yeah." And I think that's just general in life. You just it is.
I'm calling it on that. I think
Lewis isn't that guy. He doesn't seem like that guy anymore.
Yes, he is. He's whiny. He's not got a good car.
As whiny as Verstappen?
He's whiny.
I don't know. He just still can't get over the fact that it's not right for him, is it? That car.
Yeah, and he's whining about it. And
it seems like when he has a good race, ends up on the podium. He's like, yeah, they've got the car right. And when he has a bad race, same car. It's like, yeah, the car's not right. So it's almost like that's never his fault. Worst car ever. Well, I'm still not one with the car. Well, you were one with the car last race, buddy. Now what's going on? So I can see your point, but I do think in any workplace, everybody moans about their job. Everybody just moans. The day staff moan about the night staff bitch about the day. It's that kind of nonsense.
Did you hear Carlos Sainz talking about Perez?
No, go on.
He's intimidating me.
Wow. Carlos Sainz is a bit flaky, isn't he? He's a little bit,
He's a bit whiny.
He's a bit tiny tears, isn't he? He's a little bit tiny tears. But don't get me wrong, I think he's crushing it in Ferrari.
Yeah, he's doing all
right. Clerk got lucky this weekend because Sainz has been outperforming Leclerc for a long time now.
Sainz was the Minister for Defence, and he held up the battle between Perez and Sainz was great racing. They were wheel to wheel round corners. They were back and forward in front of each other. Checo made glaring obvious mistakes. He was diving. He was mistiming his dive on the inside so that he crossed the DRS detection zone before Sainz, where he could have braked later by milliseconds, and then still had DRS and still got into the corner before him. Max Verstappen did it every time he went round that corner, and Sainz couldn't do it. It was on his third attempt when he went round that corner that he got DRS on the straight after the corner, and he made a mistake in the driving, and that's where you can see how good Max is. I think it's definitely 60-40 in Max's favor.
Max is just phenomenal at the moment.
He is.
Whether you like him or not, he's literally he's driving around like it's a Sunday drive.
Yeah.
It's a Sunday drive to this man, and his persona is that. What? It must be frustrating for him.
Yeah.
I'd be like going, come on, guys. Where is someone going to challenge me? Because I need that.
I mean,
that driver needs the challenge.
He did lose the lead of the race for his first time in 4 or 5 Grand Prix or something like that.
Yeah, never in doubt that he wasn't going to get it back.
Exactly, yeah. And then the stunt he pulled at the end, going for the fastest lap. That's him because he was bored. Yeah, that's him.
That's literally. Oh, let's see how fast I can do it. It's boredom. But yeah, it was a nice little. Was it the cool down room? Did you hear the cool down room?
No, I didn't.
I didn't either. I was hoping you did.
Podcast.
You what?
The Max Verstappen podcast.
Well, are we advertising for Max Verstappen's podcast now?
Well, I think we need to be concerned about it. It's getting a bit of traction here.
Has it got more than 71 subscribers?
And how much we love all of our 71 subscribers.
Jesus. I genuinely sounded concerned about our position as the lowest quality Formula 1 podcast then. Okay, so Perez, let's talk Perez. We've talked about it both. I think we've pretty much done it. Lando Norris, driver of the day.
Lando Norris, he had a brilliant race. Not a single track limit penalty.
Oh yeah, there was a track limits. What we got an opinion on that? Let's go to pit talk. We can go to pit talk and start that, can we?
Yeah.
Okay, people. That has been the end of Good Race, Bad Race. Now, pit talk. Pit talk. A few minutes pit talk. We'll have a quick Murray in the middle of that. Yeah, I'll stop sharing screen. You tell me about pit talk. What's going on here? So what is this track limits thing? Why is it such a bad thing in this track? Big question there.
One of the main reasons, so obviously, as we discussed earlier on, Formula One aren't the only users of any racetrack around the world, right? They're used by a lot of different people. And each category of motorsports has different requirements. Some of them gel well with each other, some of them don't. So the Red Bull Ring is used by motorbikes, and they're not allowed sausage curbs, they're not allowed gravel within so many feet, they're not allowed this and that and whatever, right?
Right.
And that's why some tracks are suitable for Formula One, some tracks are not. Red Bull Ring is used by motorbikes, so they have to be, and I think it's more regular use. It's not once a year, so they're almost bigger customers. They're there more often. They get priority in how the curbing's done.
They pay the phone bill.
Yeah, the bread and butter. And they, I think basically what it comes down to is the Red Bull Ring was approached by Formula One, and they were asked to turn those corners into gravel traps right beside there's the line, the track limit line, a little bit of tarmac, and then there's a gravel track.
Yeah. But
at the moment there's the curbing, and the red and white curbing, and then the blue and white curbing, and it gives them a chance to shoot over.
Let's just get this clear. The track limit is the same for all of those different classes.
Yes.
Okay.
But
mate, I threw that question at you, and you hit it back very hard. That was very good. Yeah. So basic. Go on. I want to hear this.
Between the white lines, right?
Yeah.
That's the game. You stay between the white lines, but they have to have safety issues. That's why motorbike tracks generally aren't on street circuits, because street circuits have solid
big houses like in the Isle of Wight.
Yeah. Isle of Man. Yeah.
That's what I said. That's what I said. Continue
No,
on.
no, no. Skip over it. Quick.
Yeah, I'll dub over it or something. I don't know why. It's got houses. I wasn't lying. Fake news. Fake news. Go on. I've disturbed your plans.
That's basically what it comes down to. I think next year, because of the volume, Esteban Ocon got 15 seconds after the race had finished. He'd already served, I think, or was it Yuki Tsunoda had 15 seconds in the race and got another 15 seconds after the race after they analysed the track.
But we all know the stewards hate Esteban Ocon. They'll put him in for anything, that boy.
Apparently, Esteban Ocon.
Odd socks. Pit penalty, please.
if you take all of Esteban Ocon's time penalties into account, for him to finish when he did on Sunday for the Grand Prix, he had to start the race in 2018.
Oh, a little joke there. Wait a minute. Wait, I can hear someone laughing.
Is that Murray? Murray appreciate my joke?
So easy to get it wrong.
Hey, he loved that joke, didn't he? He did love that joke. You were saying that sausage cake.
Yeah, well, they can't have them because the bikes would, But yes, next year.
This must be a problem as well when it becomes like it's a new track. I don't know why I'm waving my hand there. When it's a new track and like you say, it's not been specifically designed for F1.
Yeah. It's they're motorsports tracks, and that's the main thing. You've got to respect that they've got other customers as well. So I think next year what we'll see is a lot of gravel around that corner, and it's easy for them to push the gravel back and redo the curbing for other sports, and then take the curbing out and put the gravel back in for Formula One. So yeah,
it just seemed to be a particular problem. And when older tracks like the track that we're going to soon, or this weekend, they've evolved naturally to accommodate Formula One. Do you think?
Yeah.
Where in newer tracks, there's still going to be some ironing out to do.
I don't think so. I think, there were suggestions about redesigning the track. Ted Kravitz interviewed a Dutch or an Austrian guy, I think he was, an Austrian ex-Formula One racer that designs tracks now. And apparently he'd put forward a redesign.
What was the name of this ex-Formula One driver? He says, breathing heavily into the microphone.
Watch Ted's Notebook available on Sky Television.
You got no idea of the name?
Oh, no, I can't remember.
Okay.
But yeah, there was, they could straighten it out a bit better so that the implication was that if they moved the apex of the following corner, they wouldn't need to swing out so wide before it, so they could hit the curb better. They could hit the apex better as they came round.
There has to be a compromise, I think. We've had this before, and the narrative has always been if we move the track limits, they'll just go over those limits because they're going to be pushing. That narrative doesn't work, doesn't stack up, because this problem doesn't happen in other tracks. So, do you not think?
Yeah, yes and no.
To have it so intense on this track, then you've got to look at the track as opposed to the driver's behaviour. Maybe.
Yeah. If you look at Paul Ricard, which is all flat and there's no gravel traps, there's all concrete runoff and everything, right? All those big stripy areas.
No, I hate that. It's almost like an assault on the eyes.
And stuff like that,
it's assault on the eyes. It's almost like they've deliberately done that to confuse you. If I was a driver, I wouldn't know where I was going on that track.
There must be an optimum distance between centers of the radiuses. The centers of the curves. Yeah. They can get round that easier, but then again, it's different for every kind of motorsport. Every car's got a different turning radius, and it might be for motorbikes and touring cars, it might be perfect, but for Formula One cars, it's not. And they only come once a year, so just like Santa Claus. So why should we change it? There
was so many inappropriate jokes after what you just said that I can't list them.
Yeah. Or skipping over them by the way. Feel free to put them in the comments below.
Like the behaviour thing. The defenders of the behaviour of the drivers thing is, well, at Monaco they do. Well, yeah, but Monaco's Monaco. It's a different ball game with these legacy tracks and these newer tracks that are built. These are all different categories of track. You know,
Monaco. Ask Charles Leclerc how keep track limits in Monaco.
Well, yeah, Mister Throw the Race. Anyway, that has been pit talk. Let's get down to.
We've got other stuff.
You've got other stuff. Oh, okay.
Well, obviously, this weekend we've got the Silverstone Grand Prix.
So the British Grand Prix, the most important
British Grand Prix based
day in the
Silverstone,
British motorsport calendar.
Whatever they're going to call it. What actually is the full title? The Formula One Aramco British Grand Prix 2023. Right?
Why is corporate got to get their teeth into everything, don't they?
Wayne, you're a big Formula One fan. How many garages will there be in Silverstone's pit lane this year?
That was a very odd question.
Yeah.
Garages?
Yeah.
What, for the Formula One drive cars?
Yeah.
Well, enough for the Formula One car. Is it not enough?
How many is there? Just a question. How many do you think there's going to be? Don't Google it. I can see your screen.
No, I'm not moving. My hands are here.
Come on in.
20 garages. It's 20 racing teams, isn't there? Am I being silly? Go on.
Not this weekend, does not.
Well, go on.
Brad Pitt's movie.
Oh, really?
As yet unnamed. Yes. Apex Racing will be the
pretending to be a Formula One team.
Yep.
That's a shockingly bad name.
AMG branding on the car. They released pictures of the car today.
Are you going to show us these pictures?
Oh, yeah. I probably can. Let me find it. Let me see if I can find them. But yes, there's going to be there's going to be a 11th team on the grid.
12th team. That's a new number.
Yeah, it's going to be 11th.
You know, I'm a teacher and I've done maths. I know 12th isn't a number.
Have you?
Yeah, I know that pretty sure. Anyway, go
on. Yeah, there's going to be Apex Racing are going to be at the Formula One, the British Grand Prix. It's going to be part of the storyline. Here is. Do you want to? Hang on.
Let multiple people share the screen, sir. Is that what you're asking? There you go. You're in the hot seat. You're Nick DeVries. All of a sudden, you're out. If you can't get this right now, if you send this into the gravel now.
There you go. So that's the Apex Racing.
Oh, so they've chosen the color scheme of Lotus, basically black and gold, JPS time. But they can't put
allegedly, it's going to be Brad Pitt in the car. Okay. They're going to do a load of camera runs with the car. There's a camera rig apparently that goes on top of the car. It's going to film all the other cars from that car. They're going to be doing a whole load of filming during quali and stuff like that, and it's going to be interesting to see how it happens.
That looks like a form. Who built the car? This is more interesting than Formula One.
If you notice just above the MSC, there's the AMG logo. So I'm thinking Mercedes are heavily involved.
It's an old Mercedes chassis or something, yeah?
Well, it's got side pods on it, mate.
Oh, yeah. I bet you he's going to be bitching all the way around as well. Oh, God.
Well, Lewis Hamilton's one of the producers of the movie. So,
well,
it's going to be interesting to see if
Good luck to him with that one. Good luck to him with that one. That's what you've got to do, mate. He's got to spread his wings, hasn't he?
It's going to be interesting to see if it affects the running of the weekend at all. And to see if it affects the race and distracts them. Esteban Ocon at the Thursday Racers Rundown press conference today did name check. What's his name? Apex. He name checked Apex Racing, and he name checked Brad Pitt's character, which is an awesome. Yeah, Sonny Hayes. There you go. How Hollywood is it?
That's a terrible name.
Yeah.
That's a terrible name.
So,
I like to. Have you seen Moneyball with Brad Pitt? That's a good film.
There's a few good movies, yeah, that he's done, but it'll be interesting to see how it ties in with the actual weekend and when Apex will be on track, and to see how much footage is actually released of what happens. There's going to be. It's been filmed by Jerry Bruckheimer, who did the
Top Gun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who was his collaborator that's dead now? What's his name? Bruckheimer, and they always had that logo with the lightning. Bruckheimer and someone else. You know what I mean, don't you? They did the original Top Gun together. Yeah, it's all gone. It's all gone. This is what happens when you drink when you're young, people.
What's his name?
Okay, shall we? Yeah. We've done pit talk.
Let's skip on.
Let's skip on. Someone put it in the comments, or don't, because no one ever does unless they're moaning about music. Okay, let's go to predictions.
I bet it's a riot. Riot.
Yay! Prediction. That's a prediction. Okay, let's share screen.
Don Simpson.
Don Simpson. See?
Simpson Bruckheimer.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
The only one. No one else whoever gets to this stage in the podcast cares anyway. Right, let's do the points.
I think I'm going to name check Gordon, and if he gets to this far in the podcast, then he needs to give me a call.
Okay.
Call back.
Yeah.
He promised me on Saturday, but he didn't.
Okay. Right. So, Gordon, please listen. That's as far as I'm going there. Let's do some points here. Okay. So this is from the result. What was the fastest lap in Austria?
Austria. Hang on,
I am so far 11 points behind.
Max Verstappen got the fastest lap.
We didn't get
that. I got that wrong.
What was the fastest lap, sir?
Fastest lap was 1 minute 7.012.
Who's closest? Who's closest there? 1 minute 7.012. That's you, isn't it? That's your closest, yeah. You get a point. That's not a point. That's not anything. Let's do this again with a pen that would work. Let's use some of these tricky. There we go. All right. Okay.
Max was on pole.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just trying to get all these bits and bobs off the screen.
I'm just going to top up with some mine. I've got a day off tomorrow, so I don't mind.
You can take as long as you want. I haven't. I've got to plan some lessons in the morning. Then, okay. Max is on pole. Okay. Oh, look, what's going on here? Why is this not moving? Shut this. I want the pen. Why is it? I know why. This is a screenshot.
Because you're a tech genius.
Because I'm a boomer. I don't understand. This won't move. Oh, now you want to move. Okay. Let's just crack on here. So, Max, pole, yeah? You got 2 points? Yep. No, you get 1 point for pole, don't you? It's all over the show. 1 point. Nothing for fastest lap. You get the fastest lap point, and you're going to get 2 points for Verstappen winning. Yeah? You agree?
Yeah.
Perez came third. You get 2. This is going very badly for me. Where did Alonso come? You get a point. He was in the top 10, but he wasn't in that place.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't even draw on that now. Okay. Science, where did he come?
Science was 6th.
So you get a point. Hamilton, you get a point, yeah? Where did he come?
Hamilton was 8th.
You get a point. Leclerc, you get a point. Russell, you get. Where did Russell come?
7th.
7th?
Yeah.
Oh, my crikey. This is not. Stroll, you get a point.
Stroll was 9th.
Okay. Let me just move this down there. That's brilliant. That's really going to help me. Let's just.
For those of you listening on the radio, Wayne just scrolled down the page and the numbers stayed where they were. But
yeah, that's all right. We can still do this. I'm going to draw. I'm going to put this draw in. I was so happy with being prepared today. Okay, Norris, not in the points.
Norris, Lando Norris was fourth, my friend.
So you get a point for Norris. Just put another point there. And Ocon, not in the points.
Ocon was 14th.
No, not in the points. Okay, let's do. Oh, this is a mess. This is a catastrophe. Right. I get a point for Max for pole. Nothing for the fastest lap. Nothing for that. I get 2 points for Verstappen.
Yay.
I get a point for him. I get a point for him. I get a point for him. Where did Russell end up?
Russell was 7th.
I get a point. Leclerc, a point. Perez, I get a point. Ocon, nothing. And Bottas, nothing. You can see him down the bottom there. Let's take this off. This is going to be confusing when we do the total. Sonoda, nothing. Okay. So let's just add up these points now, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, concentrate. Let's start again, Mr. Maths.
John, you're going to take your socks and shoes off.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Mister, you get 14, which makes your score. What is your score? Where's a pen? Oh, I don't know. What's your score? 14. What's that? What's your score?
14 plus what?
83. 93 plus 4, 5, 6, 7. 97. 97 for you. 72. 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81. What am I doing? That's 81. Yeah, 81. Is that right? Have I done that right? Have you been paying attention?
Yeah. No.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You can check it in the edit.
7, 8, 9. 9. 81, yeah. Okay, so I'm on 81. You're on 97. This is looking like a Max Verstappen walkover now, isn't it? It's not looking good for me.
More than that ahead if I was Max Verstappen.
Okay. Can you read the stats out? Let's stop sharing the screen.
Yeah.
It's catastrophe of a podcast. Okay. Can you read the stats out about for Silverstone, please?
So, Silverstone, what a circuit, eh?
Tell me about it.
Most of the drivers' favourite circuit, as it happens. The first Grand Prix there was 1950. We're going to have 52 laps of the 5.891 circuit. That will give us a distance of 306.198 kilometers. The lap record was set in 2020. Who do you think it was?
2020? Who was winning then? Lewis Hamilton?
No. Max Verstappen. And the time is 1:27.09.
2020 when he went off into the wall.
No, not the fastest lap.
No, 2020 was that when he fell off the track at the start and Hamilton won it. That was 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah, then last year it was Zhou Guan Yu just nearly had that massive crash.
Yeah.
What was your score, sir? 97. 97. What was my score? 81, wasn't it?
81, yeah. Sorry.
Well, yeah, just pay attention. Okay. Right. Okay, we're back on track here. Okay. Silverstone's an interesting track. I've got a history of it. I sound like a... Oh, sorry. We're not sharing screen, are we? There we go. Let's do this. Can you see that, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. You go first. Or do you want me to go first?
You go first, because I always go first.
I'm going to say the goat's second. As always, start in some kind of non-order. Stick Hamilton in there because he's got to get a podium. Verstappen's going to win. Podium for Hamilton second. I think Russell's going to do well. I think then. What?
It's 11 years since Red Bull won at Silverstone.
Well, that's the whole Black Swan argument, isn't it? Right, okay, so...
Well, what's the Black Swan argument, Wayne? I've not heard that one.
Don't get me started. Let me have another beer and we'll meet in the pub and talk about it. Okay, so... Shush, Russell. We're going to get 2 Brits on the podium. Then we're going to get Alonso 3rd. Okay?
Wow.
Because he's still going to be there. But I think maybe that team has dropped off.
It's a home race for a lot of these teams, I think they're going to up the game.
Well,
a lot of big.
Science is going to continue his run in 5th. Science is going to continue his run in 5th. Okay. Now it's this kind of game of who's left. We've got Hamilton, we've got Russell, we've got Verstappen, Perez. I think Perez's time's over. I don't know if it feels like he's got his elbows out, been slapped down again. He's going to be 6th.
He wasn't well over the weekend as well.
Oh, poor little princess.
He didn't do the Thursday press, and he still had a feverish temperature on Sunday when he came 3rd.
Yeah, well, we all do that, didn't we? We've all got going to work, couldn't we? Couldn't ring up on the Sunday morning, do the sick voice.
Not when they're paying for his hotel.
I'm not well. You know the sick voice, don't you? I'm not well. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, where was I? 7th, Leclerc. I'm going to go Norris 8th.
Okay.
Stroll 9th. I reckon Stroll's going to struggle again. The weight of Daddy expectations way too much for him. And 10th.
That's why you made him smaller than everybody else.
He's a little bit smaller. Ooh, Daddy's little soldier. Right, here we go. I'm going to give Gasly a shot. There. Right, what's the fastest? Pole Verstappen. I just don't think these guys are beatable on any level. He says, clicking furiously. Max,
and then
pole.
Putting Perez in 6th.
That time, Hammy. I think Hammy's going to have a little bit of home. Oh, Milton.
Yeah,
Hamilton. Time. What time? What was the fastest lap, sir?
127. 127.097 was the fastest lap. That was set in 2020. We've obviously had aero upgrades since then.
Okay, there's my prediction. Hamilton, the fastest lap, and the lap time of 1 minute 26.451. Where do you want to start? Where do you want to start, young man?
I'm going to put Max on pole.
Max.
I think Sergio is going to get the lap.
Oh, wow. Still clinging on to that.
Yeah, I think so.
Clinging on to that seat. I tell you who's not a threat to his job. Nick de Vries. Anyway, go on.
Funny we got even a picture for him. Yeah, we do. All right, okay.
I'm organised.
Sure you are.
What was the name of that restaurant? What was the name of that restaurant in Spa? Yeah, I bet you can't remember. The one that was like around the back of that shed. It was gorgeous. We went there twice.
Yeah, I'll find out.
Super Sub Steve's going this year, so.
Oh, is he?
He's in the same campsite.
Oh, brilliant.
I can't remember the name of that restaurant.
I'll find out.
Yeah. All right. Lap time.
125.4.
4.31. Sticking at the 4s and the 1s there. Okay, let's just do this now. Who's winning? You want to put that out? I want to put that out. Who? Max?
Max Verstappen, yeah.
So, let's do that. Is it 2 of them? No, I'll just move them across. I've got to put him in a different place. That's why. Max winning. Okay, who's next?
I'm just trying to find.
Oh wow.
Where are we? Oh, yeah.
We are still here.
Right, sorry, I was trying to find that restaurant. I reckon. Yeah, Hamilton 2nd. I reckon Perez 3rd.
Who?
Perez. then I think Leclerc has stayed on the track for an awful long time. He's due a crash. So let's put Sainz into fourth, Alonso in fifth.
I'm telling you, Sainz is going to be that number one driver in that team.
Yeah. Alonso
if he's allowed to be. Alonso, fifth. Oh, I don't know what I did there. What did I do there? Oh,
What light search?
what night search?
Then I think we're going to have Norris.
There we go. In sixth, Norris in sixth.
Russell.
Podcast listeners, Russell. In seventh. Don't mistake these pauses for genuine thinking.
Ocon. Ocon in eighth. Gasly in 10th, I think, as well.
Wow. Who's ninth then? What's going on, Ocon? Let's just get ninth out of the way, then we can give the rundown.
I'm going to put Albon in there just as a left fielder.
Would you like Catboy, or wouldn't you want the
No,
normal?
I prefer
You
the
like
respect
you
picture,
you
yeah.
prefer to show respect.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know-
oh, easy, Tiger. He's got a bit wide. He's a wide boy. That. Okay, let's put it. Oh, he's still got a bit big there. And then you want Gasly last? Not
Yeah.
last.
No, 10th.
No. You don't want to sling a Haas in there for a little bit of a gamble? You're
No.
very conservative with your massive lead now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, let's screenshot that so I can try and scribble over it later. Okay, so you've got Verstappen first, Hamilton second, Perez third, Sainz fourth, Alonso fifth, Norris sixth, Russell seventh, Ocon eighth, Albon ninth, Gasly 10th. That feels a bit conservative, I suppose, but mine's quite conservative, especially with Verstappen winning. I mean, how conservative can you get? Okay, people, let's stop sharing the screen. I wanted to just quickly show you. This ties in with what we were talking about earlier about track evolution, because I don't know if you guys know that I've been watching Formula One for a long time now, and I wanted to just show you how tracks evolve over time to accommodate the racing. As you can see, this is Silverstone, which used to be an airfield, as you can see here. So Silverstone has evolved so much over time to slow the cars down. A lot of the thinking was to changing the track to slow the cars down, because at one point it was the fastest track on the calendar. So let me see if I can.
Still a pretty fast track.
Still a fast track. This is the point I'm making. Like, these new tracks, they're almost like they're new, so that evolution of the car alongside the track doesn't happen. It's like, here's a new track, go race on it. Oh, I see, this isn't going to quite work. You see what I mean? So if you look at Silverstone, this used to be, I'm going to draw what it used to be in the 80s, okay? With my pen, if I can do that. Okay, I think I've got it. Yeah. So the track used to go along here. So they incorporate all this bit here, never there. It was just, it went straight along. So you went, and this part here never was there. Now what happened was, in the turbo era, the cars were going so fast that
You describe what you're doing for the viewers on the
I'm
radio.
placing where the track used to be in the 80s and how it's evolved. Okay.
So between Abbey.
Oh, sorry.
and Luffield.
Between Stowe and Club, it was flat out. There was no Vale. They used to call it Vale, I think, but it was just flat out. Sorry, you're absolutely right there, mate. And between Abbey, there was no farm, there was no village, there was no loop, there was no Aintree, there was no Wellington Straight. All of this was flat out from Abbey to Brooklands. And that's where you got Luffield Corner here. So, and when you're at Maggots, it used to just come straight out of here like a nose and then round to Beckett's this way. So it's almost like they've pushed the nose of that corner in. Okay, so when you look at it, I'm going to draw all the way round it for people.
Tops, Maggots and Beckett's is widely mentioned as a favourite section of any Formula One track.
Yeah, no, because that's the start finish. Yes, because it's an art to not lifting through this chicane, but this chicane never was there in the 80s. I think this was changed. Oh, I couldn't tell you a year it was changed, but it was changed in the 90s. But this is what the circuit used to look like in the 80s, and the cars were so fast, and this is the point I was making. If you've got an old track, the evolution of the track to evolve with the cars. Do you see? So
for those of you that are
over
listening
time.
on the radio, I'll
go on, explain. I'm sorry, I know I'm not doing a very good
Wayne
job.
will send me this image and I'll put it on our Instagram account, on our Facebook account, and it will be the image for
just
this
show
podcast,
that
so you can have a look at it.
the point I'm making is those problems with the new track. I'll just take a photo of it now and I'll put it on the WhatsApp. The problems with the new tracks are they're not, like you say, if they're making their payday money from a certain type of revenue, but like Silverstone has evolved to accommodate the Formula One. Really, this has all been because of there we go again. Let's just get this lined up. The same old problem. I've done the same rookie mistake here. Let's just get this lined up.
To quote or to paraphrase Einstein, repeatedly doing the same actions and expecting a different outcome.
It's madness. It's madness.
Yeah.
Doing the same thing, yeah. But so that's the point I was making about track evolution and Silverstone. Silverstone, I've been there. I saw Nigel Mansell win it in 1992, the famous year that he picked up Ayrton Senna on the way round, which would now be deemed as like penalties and fines because everybody's so precious. But yeah, anyway, I just thought I'd put that point across. It kind of tied in well with what we were talking about, how a track evolves alongside the sport, as opposed to here's a new track, now let's see how it's going to do when the car's on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Great point, well presented, I thought there.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, it was very informative. Any comments about
my
drawings, his IT skills? Please don't.
yeah. And the fact that I am such a boomer when it comes to like this kind of stuff. Just let us know in the comments, or just moan about the music again. Just moan about something inconsequential, then block us. I have no objection to the blocking if you're like that.
I would really like that guy to not have blocked us and still listen to this, just so we can get some.
It's like those people that write in, "I'm never going to listen to your show again," and then watch it the next week to see if they get a reply. Yeah, it's been literally said. Okay, I think that's the F1 Show podcast. I think, we've crushed it. Again, another classic. And if you've made it till the end, well done, all one of you. I mean, well done to that person who can't reach the phone in their car or or incapacitated and trapped under a wardrobe at home and have to listen. Shall we call 999? Shall we? Because you've made it to the end of our podcast. Obviously, you're paralysed in some way. And on that note, paralysis. This has been the end of the F1 Show podcast. We will see you next week. Ta-ta!
Bye-bye.